Welcome to part 2 of the Caterpillar D2 pony motor or starting engine carburetor rebuild. So in part 1 we disassembled it, we got it all cleaned, and now we're if we can remember how to put it back together, we'll get it back together. So we'll see what happens. Alright, well, let's see. Where should we start? How about let's find the gasket for this guy and we'll get this part of it done. Let's see here. We got a handy dandy new kit. So let's get that opened up and we will sort through the parts here. If it's like other old tractor carb kits, there'll be a lot of extra pieces. So we'll find out. I think that looks like the one we need right there. There we go. All right, now let's see, this guy and that guy get back together. That together. Okay. Find the gasket for this as well. There it is. I believe. Looks like it. Alright, so we're gonna make sure we get this oriented properly. I don't think that's it. There we go. There we are. Yeah. Alright, so what I did to disassemble this, and I actually think it's the right way to go, or the proper sequence of disassembly I should say, is we push this pin through the top side, and that allowed us to get enough clearance to get this piece in and out. So get that out of there. Can. There we go. Alright, so there's kind of a bunch of pieces to hold together at one time, but we'll see what we can do. This goes up through here. This goes underneath there like that. This goes like so. Alright, now we've got to get the pin back in. Might be easier said than done, and we got to make sure. Here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get it started. I actually think one thing you will find some things go back together easier one way than another when it appears that either way should work. Let's see. That end is goes that way, so I think it's this way. There we go. Alright, so what I'm doing, this little Phillips screwdriver was a little smaller diameter than the pin, and so I thought, well, let me see if I can pilot it with a little spud here. See if we can get that lined up better. Alright, you guys, you've seen me struggle enough. Alright, success. So I'm not going to take this back apart to show you how I did it, but basically kind of take it all apart, take the shaft out and the little fork that holds this rod up, the adjusting fork, put everything in place and then kind of gently push down, put your fork underneath there, and kind of keep it all together, twist it off the side, and just have patience. So anyway, I did get it. Took me about another, I don't know, 5-10 minutes probably to get that done. So I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being, and then we will move on to some other stuff. Actually, let's go ahead and put in the new float seat here. We'll go ahead and do that while we're on it. And let's see here. There's a gasket that goes there. Gasket. There we go. Get this centered here. Here's gently but firmly. There we go. All right, we leave the float bowl cover to the side for the moment. Now, let's go to the float bowl itself. Let's see if we can figure out what we got here. So here's that little bitty jet that goes in the bottom. It had been pretty screwdriver mangled before, so I did file off at least the high points. No real reason to do that other than just my own satisfaction. So now, getting this little guy in here, that's going to be fun too. But I think we can do it. Let's make sure we get it threaded straight. Again, there we go. There. This is a those situations where tiny hands would be great. Not that I have great big ones. I did make sure that all the passages were clean. So we ran that whole thing through the ultrasonic cleaner. I did it twice, 20 minutes a shot. I do make it pretty warm, and I think the heat helps. It came out pretty clean. There was quite a bit of rust accumulation in the bottom of the float bowl there. I'll set these guys aside for the moment. And so it got that nice and clean. There are plugs in here. Go. Another washer and another plug. I did a bit of took some Scotch-Brite to the mating surfaces here and a little bit in here too, and got that good and rinsed out. Then I did hit it with some carb cleaner on top of that, and was able to make sure that, you know, all the passages were clear, and so on down the line. So I think we're in pretty good shape. Now that little guy, let's see, here's one little sealing washer here. I think fits here. Oh, you know what? I think I put one of those plugs in too soon. Yeah, I'm sure I did. As a matter of fact, now getting this guy started, it's going to be fun too. There we go. Maybe. So, anyway, if I can get it back together properly, which there is some question about, I think we'll have a nice clean carburetor at least, and then you'll have a better chance of operating properly, at least in my opinion. Alright, so let's see, I think this one, I got a little too far ahead of myself. Like, this guy goes in here. Yeah. 38. Washer metering well. Okay, well that's a question for you. Tell you what, I may need to grab a flashlight, look down in there to make sure there's not one already there. I'll be back with you in a second. Alright, so we got the washer down in there. We'll go ahead and get this guy in there. Screwdriver. Go. Seated. A little bit of a gunch. Not much. There we go. Alright, now we can go this way. Alright, so what do we got here? We've got everything we need there. Let's go ahead and put this gasket on here for safekeeping. I don't think it matters which way it goes. There we are. Okay. So there's our float bowl. Pretty well ready to finish up. Alright, so now float. Let's get our new needle valve in here. First of all, the float does float. Question I have is float height. You know what, let's give that a little, just a bit clean up here. Not that it really needs it. By the way, this guy, if you're doing one of these, I'm not sure that unless you have fuel leaking due to a poor gasket or something, I'm not sure I would take that apart. The only real thing I accomplished there was fitting a new gasket. So I guess I would be somewhat cautious. If you do get into it, just understand it does take some patience, you know, and you'll get it, but it does take a little patience. And the only real way to take that apart is to take that pin out. This pin seems to be swaged in there, and it was not gonna come out. And I don't like the fact that that's cracked, but what am I gonna do about that? I don't think it's going anywhere. So we're gonna run with it and call it a day. Alright. It's always interesting. Your float hinge pins, sometimes they just go slide right in, and other times they fight you. Let's see what we got here. This one is kind of like, it's bound up. Alright. try you the other way. That's crazy. How that is bound that tight. How is it bound that tight? You tell me. I'm very gentle with the pliers, by the way. But, wow. That thing does not want to leave. Let's see if we can't help it along from this side. Holy moly. You know, you just want to be gentle with this stuff. And so, you know, I'm not probably applying that much pressure, but you're also kind of like, how come it takes as much as it seems to take? Alright, what's going on with you? I just crud it up in here? That might be it. You know what? They gave me these little brushes with the Carb. Maybe we just need to give you a bit of a scrubby-dub-dub. I'm not sure this is a plastic bristle brush. I'm not sure it's really helping a ton. But, let's see. Yeah, I think it's better. Let's do a little more of that. Maybe, let's go next size up. What do you say? There we are. Yeah, I got the Carb kit off of eBay. I don't remember the seller. It the paper that comes with it says Zenith Zenith Fuel Systems Inc. That's what they call themselves anyway. Whether it's the real Zenith, I don't know. But they included this handy little brush set and wire set, which I have used. You know what? That's better. That's better. Glad, you know, maybe I'm glad you were stuff. Maybe I'm glad you just wanted to be difficult that way. You're trying to tell me something. And you know what we're also going to do? What happened to my Scotch Brite? There it is. I'm going to Scotch Brite the pin a little bit too, just for good measure. I'm going to drill handy and chuck this thing in and give it a good whirl. Now we can do it by hand here. I'm just going to kind of clean it up a little bit. Can't hurt anything. So maybe we just had a little crud in there. I was calling for, it's got a little bit of a flat spot on it actually. Interesting. I think that's going to affect our operation much here though. There we go. Alright, so I put a little bit of oil on the pin here. Let's see if that'll help the cause a little bit. You would think these things would go right in, you know. Man. Alright. All I know to do is give it a light tap. That's too light. A scrammer here. There we go. All right. Now, I don't know if there's anything. Yeah, float height. 1 1/8 plus or minus 3/64 from top or the bottom of the top to the bottom of there. All right. we'll have to measure that, get that figured out, make sure we get the float set properly. All right, what else needs to go on here? I think for the moment, really nothing. So let's stop here for a minute. Let me get something to measure that with. We'll get it set. All right, so we got the float height set, and I think we can go ahead and get some of the rest of these screws in. Now, that long window. So I'm missing a few lock washers, and so I'm gonna have to go get some. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws in here. At least hold it together. I'll pick up some lock washers before final assembly, or before I put it back on the tractor, and I'll just make sure we get this stuff locked down. So there's 3 short ones, 1 longer one. This one's a little thicker here, so obviously that's where that goes. I'm gonna just give him not too much pressure just yet. So, yep, there's one. Might as well put him on here. Put one broken one like that. One was missing, so I'll pick up a couple. I think I might actually have some. I'll just have to go scrounge and look around for them a little bit. And this one's over here. There we go. Good enough for now. Now let's get this little guy on here. Stop and screw. You know, it's interesting. You wonder how long it took, you know, the people that made these in the factory. You wonder how quick they got, because, you know, it takes, you know, me at least, it seems like forever to put one of these together. I would have been fired. I am sure of that, because production rate had to be much faster than this, or the expectation of production, I should say. But anyway, set that right there for the moment. What else do we have here? I think our float bowl is complete. All right, so that guy will go on as such. Now, let's start here. Get this one put in. Carefully. We might want a washer on that. Actually, I think this is it. Yes, indeed. Yeah. 21. Yeah. This, they say this is the idle jet. All right. So will be it. There we go. All right. Okay. So question, look at the. All right, well, my camera battery died there, so we did get the float set at 1 1/8 inches, and now we're on to the throttle body here. So installed our idle jet. Now, new one comes with it. The old one's here. The new one's a little sharper point. I think I'm going to go with the old one, partly because I do want to maintain the look of the machine as part of it. So, that's my thinking anyway. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We'll put our little retainer in here, and that's the screw, retainer wire. So what we're doing, we're gonna get this thing running so we can find out what's really wrong with it. Anyway, not joking about that. I wish it was. There we go. Alright, so I think I'm going to go with the old one. And if for some reason it doesn't seem like that's the way to go, we will replace it. But I think this is the way to go. So, book says all the way in, back out 1 turn for a preliminary setting. So, that is all the way in. So, we'll go half and 1. Call that good. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right. Well, I think we're done with this part. Well, we're not quite done. So we'll put this packing in here. Let's just check something out before we get too excited. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put the packing in here. And we have a new cap. We will also tap in, and tell you what, we'll use the scrammer to do that. There we are. I'll get a proper hammer here and finish that off. Yeah, it's crooked. Anyway, what else do we have? There is some play in this, not real bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just leave it. I'd rather not have to unsolder all these. We'll just see how it runs. If it's not good, maybe we'll pull it back off and address that. But I have a feeling it'll be fine. I've definitely seen a lot worse. So now that we are got everything all cleaned up, really assembled, and I'll just put these on for safekeeping for the time being. So the mag is out for rebuild, and once I get that back, we will obviously be given a shot. But next job on this, we'll go ahead and, I need to make a new gasket for here. This one, obviously homemade, not the best. So we make a new gasket for that. Got a new bottom gasket already. So here, interestingly enough, they have a 21 stamped in there. Not sure why, but it's interesting. and then we'll finish the last little bits on this, get it bolted down, get it reassembled. It is easier to put the carb on and off without the mag in place than not. It's also easier to put the mag in place without the carburetor in place, but relatively speaking, easier to put the carb on first. So we'll do that. All right, well, I'm feeling pretty good about it. You guys let me know where I screwed up, and then I might not feel as good about it, but I think overall we're in pretty good shape on the carburetor. Way better than it was, let's say that. So we'll put that aside. Next job, whoops. Next job is this guy. So yeah, you can still see some of the factory paint on there. These have been rounded off, so I ran these through the ultrasonic cleaner too. Haven't tried to get them loose yet, but that's the next job, and building up some new fuel lines, because you can see these were not so hot. All right, well, that's going to wrap this one up. Sorry it's not as exciting as some of the other T2 channels, at least yet, but these are the kind of details you need to get into to get a machine running, and I do want the pony motor running well. So next up is the fuel line rebuild and a clean out of this new pony tank. So we'll get those two things done. The fuel system will be done, and then we'll be just waiting on the mag to give it a pull. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for watching.